You're listening to the Elvis Ultimate Fan Channel podcast, the channel that is devoted 100% to the life and career of the biggest selling recording artist of all time, with your host, Steve Francis.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks, everybody, to who's joining me live on what is going to be, I'm sure, quite an emotional and very busy show, I hope. It's the 44th anniversary of Elvis's death tomorrow, so the format of the show is going to be a little bit different. You can call me free on Facebook Messenger or the Memphis number at the top of the screen, and Dave, my engineer, will take care of you until I'm off the phone, or I can take a call and then you'll be patched through to me. We will also have This Day in Elvis History, Elvis Photo of the Week as well. There will be a few items that we're keeping in. So you're very welcome to what is the 44th anniversary tomorrow of the passing of Elvis. So this is going to be a little bit of an extra special show, I hope. I'm going to be asking, I'd like to hear from as many of you as possible on the phone today. I'm asking everyone to call in and tell me what they'd say to Elvis if they could sit down with him for a one-on-one chat. Maybe there's questions you would have loved to have asked him, or something you wish you'd had the chance to say. If there's anyone watching live from Memphis in Elvis Week, I'd love to, if they could call in and give us an update on what's going on and what has been going on. And if you'd like to call in with your memories of August the 16th, 1977 and the following days, you can also do that. And we're also going to go over to Dave, who is my engineer and moderator, and he will be announcing the Elvis Fan of the Year winners. So it's a really, really big show tonight. It's sort of been, tonight has really been 7 months in the making with all the quizzes and things like that. Your name is in the hat. Even if you were only, you only got one question right and you were the first person that week to get that question right, your name went in the hat. Of course, if you got multiple questions right, then your name was in the hat multiple times, so you had more chance of your name being pulled out. So there you go. Also, I might just throw in the poll as well, which I asked you to vote on your favourite hair from the movies. I gave you 4 options. I sort of listed it to 4, and I also said if you don't agree with any of these 4 that I've picked, then you can leave your own opinion in the comments below. And it was close. It was very close, in fact. There was a neck and neck poll a couple of weeks ago for the Song of the Week for July, and it was only separated, I think, at one time it was neck and neck, and then it was separated by a couple of percent in the end. This was even closer, believe it or not. So Mrs. EAP, hi Steve, hi everyone, and love this channel. Thank you, says Dave. Michelle, loved your new on-tour book set. Yes, don't forget to check out Elvis Lass's YouTube channel. Very good indeed. Stick with me as well. After we've done This Day in History, Elvis's Photo of the Week and so forth, just stick with me. Don't normally, I know some people have to rush off at the end, but if you can just stay until the very end, because what I'm going to do, just before I close this live stream, I have a little bit of a prepared, just a closing speech which I've worked on, which I'd like to share with you all. It's obviously about August the 16th and the anniversary. So if you can stick with me right to the very end, don't rush off unless you really have to, and that'll be coming up right at the very end. So Elvis's hair was gorgeous, and that's the way it is. It certainly was. Change of habit hair, says Maxine. Bossa Nova Baby, Helen Murray, think it was on Daily Motion. Yeah, there's quite good Elvis videos on Daily Motion. I know, Maxine. you stay to the bitter end. Yeah, I wouldn't like anybody to miss it because, like I say, hi JC22. It's just something that I just put my thoughts down about the 16th of August, and I thought I'll use that for the closing of the show. I just hope I can get through it. That's the only thing. Oh, quickly as well, Karen Tranter. A lot of you know Karen from seeing her on this channel, commenting and so forth. And then you probably heard through Elvis last that she was in hospital. And I've been conversing with her over the last couple of days. And she said if she didn't make it on here tonight, could I please pass on her behalf thanks for all the messages and, good well messages and get well soon messages and all that, and the fact that we were all thinking of her. And she's asked me to say that she's getting on well, she is recovering slowly but surely, and yeah, thanks for all the good wishes that everybody sent from the Elvis family. That's what we did. We literally sent her messages via the Elvis family because that's what we are. I just lost my chat box for a few minutes, but back on now. That's quite a common thing for you, Chris. I don't quite know why that happens, but I never seem to lose it. Fingers crossed. I always see the chat box and I see all your... Maxine says got tears starting out already. Yeah, I know. It's a hard one, isn't it? And it's hard to believe that it's 44 years. Dave says, this is Elvis is playing on my TV in the background. Okay, Dave, just make sure that isn't playing on the background when you send it through here, because obviously the soundtrack will be copyrighted and it'll close the channel down if we play anything copyrighted in the background. Elvis Last says that's wonderful, Karen. Yeah, I'm sure you've been in touch with her as well, Michelle, and it's great to know that she's coming on well, because we don't like to hear of any of our Elvis family not being well. But I said I would do that if she didn't come on. She could still well come on. There's Be Happy. Hi, Be Happy. I've had an Elvis day today, songs and podcasts. Some are from this channel. Oh, I hope so, Be Happy. Yes. So... we are throwing the lines open to anybody that wants to ring in and say something to Elvis. Just pretend that you are talking to Elvis and not me, if you can do that. And if you also want to tell us about your memories of August the 16th, that's providing you are alive in August the 16th, because I know there's some fans on here who weren't actually born when Elvis died. And then, your memories of August the 16th in the following years after, how it was, marked, if you went to any, get-togethers and so forth. The CBS special is airing tomorrow, full version. I don't think it's the CBS special, Dave, because they don't actually show it on television. Somebody was on here the other day saying that it was a CBS special, and in the end, what it turned out to be is it actually turned out to be the 1968 special. So yeah. Okay, that was actually somebody ringing me, but I couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't. Here we go. Hi, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel? Hi, Jeanette.
Yeah.
How are you?
Hey, good, Steve. How about yourself?
Yes, I'm emotional, but good, because I always get a little bit emotional around about this time of the year, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, same here.
So, tell me, you rung up to speak to Elvis?
Well, I always have in my head, I know exactly what I would say to him and exactly how I would act. But I know that if I did see him face to face, my first initial reaction is to cry. I'm an emotional person, and with somebody who means that much to me, I would probably blubber my way through the whole conversation, and then I would circle it around to my love for my mother and my love of growing up in the church and church music. Mm-hmm. And I think that would be a big part of my conversation with him, is discussing musical influences in the church and other additional styles that I grew up with. And like I said, I would talk a lot about family. And then the naughty side of me would probably, say something, hey, oh, I think you're so gorgeous or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would want to be cool, but
Yeah.
I would blubber my way through it.
Yeah, I'm sure Elvis was pretty used to people blubbing and breaking down in front of him. I'm reminded of that footage of Elvis walking from his dressing room or from the suite to his dressing room back of the International Hotel, and he meets two girls,
Yes.
and one of the girls is just absolutely, she can't even bring herself to meet his gaze, and she's just crying her eyes out.
Yes.
But he was very he was very gracious. He was very gracious. I'm sure he was trying to make her feel at ease, and he was signing autographs, and then he gave her a kiss. But she was just in bits. She was just unbelievably overcome by emotion.
I think I would be that girl. I think I would. But I would love to be able to talk about musical influences and styles, about family and food. Church, family, food, and music. Those are the things that I'd want to talk with him about. But how much can you say in a 5 to 10 minute span with a man?
Yeah. Yeah. And of
and
course,
leave a good impression.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to hope that there was nobody else with him, because we know that the Memphis Mafia was sort of always trying to sort of chivvy him along and hurry him up, weren't they? Unfortunately, I think they were sort of under instructions from the colonel not to get him delayed too much.
I would like to believe there were times, though, when Elvis would tell them, hey, back off, or, because it's his time. He gets to, he got to make a stance in how he wanted to spend his time. So I'd like to believe that he would give a little extra time to those that waited hours for him, He was that kind of guy.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm sure he would have had the final say if he thought the Memphis Mafia were being sort of disrespectful to the fans or anything like that. He would have stepped in and said, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna sign this autograph. I'm gonna talk to this girl, or I'm gonna talk to this man, or whatever, until he's finished with me."
He knew how much the fans meant to him, and the fans were a big part of his success. And he gave all credit to God, and he gave credit to the fans. And
yeah, it's funny. It's funny you should say that about he knew how much the fans meant to him. That is actually that's in part of my closing speech tonight. I cover how much we know that the fans meant to Elvis. We just know that we were, the most important thing after his daughter and his wife and his father and so forth, and his mother, of course. We were
a lot of Sorry to cut you off. I was just thinking, a lot of entertainers, thank you fans. But with Elvis and everything that I saw and read and heard, it was in his actions. It was in the way he interacted with the fans. It was in his speech. It was just everything he did. It was so genuine with the fans. I mean, who lets the fans, come to their house and you don't even know, you've never met them before in your life. He made you part of his own family.
Security,
and you don't have entertainers like that anymore.
Yeah, security wasn't a big thing at Graceland, really. I don't believe it was anyway, because on a regular basis, fans would be allowed up to the door as long as they didn't sort of knock on the door or shout up or start anything like that. They were driven up by Vester or whoever was there, Harold Lloyd. But obviously sometimes Elvis wasn't there anyway. He was either on tour or he was in California making movies. But there's a story about Bruce Springsteen jumping over the fence and getting as far as the door, I believe, isn't there? I mean, today's...
But you don't hear of that anymore.
Yeah, today's stars would have like guard dogs and electric fences and all those sort of things, But Elvis didn't want to hide away from his fans. He didn't want to hide away from them.
And Steve, I always say I was born in the wrong era. I was only 5 years old when he passed, but in my family, the music was always there since birth, since childhood. And a lot of my fond memories of growing up are with his music, and I feel like I'm kind of, I don't know, everyone can say this, but I feel like I have somewhat of a connection to his legacy. My parents came from Europe, and they came from communism, and they came here, and Elvis is just part of that transition of coming from that other world, coming to America, and he's Americana.
Yeah. Right.
He came from nothing.
Yeah.
And his success should be inspirational to a lot of people, and he shouldn't be somebody that should be mocked or made fun of, man. His legacy is is huge
Yeah.
to future generations.
So very well said, Jeanette. Just so very well said. He was the American dream, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to take up too much time. I know
No,
everyone has a lot to say, but
that's fine.
I will always love his music. And he had his downfalls. He had his faults, just like any other human. He did not live a perfect life.
Yes. Yeah.
But I from everything I've seen and read, the guy had a good heart and did not, to me, he didn't seem to wish ill on people. He only wanted the best for everybody, and that that just shows in what his generosity was and the kind of soft-spoken person that he was.
Well, the good outweighs the bad, that's for sure, in Elvis's life, without a doubt.
Ooh, I got through this conversation without getting choked up.
Yeah. wait till later. Wait till later. You haven't heard my closing speech yet. And don't forget, stay tuned for the draw for the Elvis Fan of the Year as well. I think your name's in it. I think you got at least one question right anyway.
Well, Steve, I was kind of new to this channel. I haven't been watching you for very long, so I'm glad I discovered you. So now I'm back in it to win it.
Yeah, well, there'll be plenty of more chances in the future. That's for sure.
But good luck to everybody.
Thanks, Jeanette.
Thank you, Steve. You're the best. You're the best. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That's Jeanette. Very, very nice caller. Very, very nice caller. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. There's just somebody I need to say hi to make sure that she knows I'm watching. Yeah, Hello, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel? Okay, unfortunately, that's actually Bernadette Newsham. Now, she's a very big fan of the show as well, but unfortunately, and I don't know quite what it is, she can't get through. So here's another call here now. Hi, Maxine.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm alright, just choked up.
Already? Yeah, I know. It's gonna be one of those nights, I think, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah.
So, if you had the chance to sit down with Elvis as a one-on-one with nobody else around, and he could say whatever he wanted to you, and you could say whatever you wanted to him, and nobody would ever find out, apart from us listening, of course, now, but what would you say to him?
First off, I'd just give him a big hug and just say thank you for all that you've done, and just generally chit-chat about what general stuff he liked, like movies, reading, church, music, animals, food, obviously.
Yeah. Would you question? Let's say that this is a later Elvis. This is in the last maybe year of his life or something. Would you question any of his choices that he'd made in his career?
I would. I'd have to do it really subtly and carefully because I wouldn't want to anger him because I know he had quite a temper and I wouldn't want to sort of.
But if he said to you, you can ask me anything, and he wouldn't lose his temper or be offended, for instance, if he just gave you carte blanche, would there be anything that you would question?
I would. I think, would he change his manager, like from when he fired him from backstage at one of his shows? I say, would you ever have just kept him fired and gotten a new manager so that he'd be able to tour the world?
And would you say, why did you do those movies? A lot of people sort of say, Elvis, you shouldn't have done those movies. I mean, we love those movies. Elvis could be standing in front of a movie camera singing the phone directory, and we'd still love him. But would you question his choice of the movies after about 1964?
Yes and no, because some of them were good after that era, but the ones that he didn't like to do, or the ones that we didn't like, I'd just ask him, why did you do them? If you didn't really like doing them, you could have just walked away.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. And would you question? Would you mention the prescription medication?
I would. I'd be like, right, let's sit down, have a good I'll talk about it. What led you to start getting into drugs? And obviously we know that he wasn't very well from the 70s going up. Bless him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, we've said before that he did have legitimate reasons for taking those medications. He did have quite serious near the end, physical problems. So, it wasn't like he was just taking them for recreational purposes.
No.
Right. Okay. That's all I really needed to ask. Unless you'd like to say something else. You aren't old enough to remember August the 16th, 1977.
No, I'm not. But I heard a lot about it and just how he went, and I feel sorry for his daughter Lisa because I spoke to someone who grew up with her.
All right.
In the Elvis family, and she went to school with her, and she even said after that he passed, she was just so upset.
Yeah, obviously, and then obviously as time went on, you obviously got to know that every August the 16th there was movies on the television. They don't do it as much as they used to. They used to do an Elvis day on VH1. They used to do it the whole day, and they used to show Elvis movies all day on TCM and things like that.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to do it as much now. I mean, I know there is stuff on these next couple of days, and there has been these previous days, but you kind of realize the importance of August the 16th and January the 8th as well.
Oh, definitely. But I think they need to do it a bit better. Like they should over here. They should organize like a mini concert kind of thing, like where you can watch some of his live shows, and just every single Elvis family member can just come together and just celebrate his life for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Like just do it for a whole weekend, like they do at Graceland.
Yeah, well, this is it. It's Elvis week over there at the moment. I'm just sorry I can't be there. Maybe next year. You never know.
That's what I'm hoping to still go next year too.
Yeah, great. You'll have to give us a call while you're there.
Oh, I definitely will. FaceTime if I can.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I could put you on the screen, definitely. Okay. All right, Maxine.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy the rest of the show.
All right then.
Okay. Thanks for calling in. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, Maxine is. I think she's actually just a little bit. As I'm sure we all are. She's a little bit. Emotional is the word I think I'm looking for. 10th anniversary was great. Loads of terrestrial TV, and Woolies sold loads of cassettes. Yeah, I know. They always used to have a lot more stuff in. Hi, Brian. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. How you doing?
Not too bad. This is Brian Monkman, everybody. He calls in on a regular basis, and I'm glad to say, because without people like Maxine and Brian and Jeanette, I'd be talking to myself.
Yeah.
Is that right? So tell me, if you could sit down and chat with Elvis for a little while, what would you say? What would you ask him?
I would ask him if I could just pray with him.
Yeah.
Because at that time, especially August 16th, he would have needed that.
Yeah.
Just from my personal beliefs anyway.
Well, I think he did a lot of that during his life, and even more so probably coming up to the 16th. Now, I don't think for a second that he knew he was going to die that quickly and that young.
No.
Although some people do say, he said he wasn't going to make 46. His mother died at 46 and he was going to die before he was 40. I don't actually believe that, believe it or not. I think Elvis was making plans to make changes at the latter end of 77. Unfortunately, he just didn't live long enough to do them.
Yeah, which is so sad. If only he'd gotten rid of Parker back in 62, 63.
Yeah, well,
he probably would have even still been alive today.
Yeah. Would you question?
You wouldn't be stuck doing those silly movies.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You obviously think that they're silly. Would you have questioned why he did them?
Well, like he said, they were written. The contracts were written 3 years in advance.
Yeah.
He was pre-signed to them 3 years in advance.
And
Colonel Parker seen to that.
There was a lot of people in the Elvis circle that said he didn't even bother to read the contracts. Colonel said, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get $1 million.
Colonel wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
Colonel wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
There's a story. There's a DVD I have with Elvis, the Great Performances, double DVD set.
Mm-hmm.
The man and his music and Elvis, a great entertainer or something like that. And Milton Berle said when he tried handing his contract over to Elvis for him to appear on his show, Parker grabbed it right away and just said, "Don't let him see that."
Yes, I've seen that interview as well.
It's not for him to see.
Yeah.
You have? Yeah. Which is, so Parker was controlling even then.
Elvis must have, initially he must have trusted him to do everything. And I mean, the Memphis Mafia said Elvis didn't want to be involved in the business side. He just wanted to do all the shows and the films and everything for the fans.
Yeah. So I can imagine though why Colonel Parker probably, quit the concerts for a long time, because his concerts in like the early the 50s there, they were becoming unmanageable.
You mean unmanageable because of the fans, you mean?
Security, fans, yeah. They were rushing the stage and all that stuff. Yeah. Back then, rock and roll shows were a lot more wilder than they are today, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was a new beat. It was a new sound. It was riveting. It was exciting. It was just everything.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, Brian, thanks for ringing in. That's fascinating stuff.
Thank you.
Okay. All the best. Bye-bye. Bye.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Just looking here, if you can just kind of talk amongst yourselves for a second. There is something I just need to do on my phone. Oh, okay. Hi, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel? Yeah, that's Bernadette. Unfortunately, Bernadette, if you are listening, I can't hear you, unfortunately. But there was something else I meant to do here because, and I meant to do this before I came live. Hi, Bernadette. Okay, Bernadette, if you can hear me by listening to the broadcast, I can't hear you, unfortunately. So that's Bernadette again. Hello? Yeah, I'll just send Bernadette a message to tell her that I can't hear her, so it's other people can get through. I'm just going to put can't hear you, unfortunately. Okay, and there's something else as well I need to do, which is make sure that everybody can actually get through on Skype. Hello? Dave?
Hello?
Dave? Yeah, we are actually having quite a few. Bernadette, if you can hear me by watching on the broadcast, I can't actually hear you. So I actually request that you don't actually ring anymore. Let somebody else have a chance. All right. Okay. Hello.
Hello, Steve.
Yeah. Bernadette, if you can actually not ring anymore.
Ron.
Okay.
Can you hear Steve, Ron?
I can hear him, but he keeps...
Okay, let's have a look. Hi, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel?
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Can't hear you very well. Hold on.
That's Sarah.
Yes, that's Sarah.
How are you doing?
From London.
Oh, from London.
Okay. I've got a legacy to show you with you about Elvis. My parents were
Okay, sure.
Teddy boys in the 50s.
Okay.
So my dad looked very much like Elvis.
Oh, right.
Some of his photographs, he looked very much like Elvis. He had what we called the Tony Curtis haircut.
Okay.
So that would be the closest, would be the Jailhouse Rock haircut.
Oh, yes.
And when he took me to see an Elvis show, an Elvis tribute show, about 25 years ago, there were actually a group of original Teddy Boys there, and they recognised him as who he was, because he had quite a history, if you like, in London, because he was a bit of a naughty boy. Oh. And also, I'd like to tell you how I came to find Elvis.
Yes.
I was 15, and Jailhouse Rock was on the television.
Right.
And I was into rock and roll music at the time. My brother told me Elvis was on, and when I saw Baby You're So Square, that was it.
Oh, yes. That's a very very good.
A bad time, so
yeah, that's a very, very good sequence.
I can't really hear you, Steve.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I'll tell you, if you want to ring back in 5 minutes, I'm just having a few technical difficulties with somebody else trying to ring in as well, and I'm trying to get a message to her to say we can't hear her.
I can't really hear what you're saying.
Okay, all right. If you want to give me a ring back. Okay, that's great. All right. Yeah, it just seems a bit odd, actually, that the people can't. Well, people can get through, but there's that certain person, Bernadette, that can't actually get through, unfortunately. Let me just try something else here. Talk amongst yourselves while I try this. I'll just reset the phone line and see what I can do. It might help Bernadette. It was quite an interesting thing. What Brian was saying. He was saying, he would just pray with Elvis, which I thought was quite a profound thing to say. Okay. Hello, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel? Hello?
Hey, Steve, it's Ron from Ohio. How you doing?
Oh, hi, Ron. How are you doing? You can actually turn off your... I don't know whether I can turn this off or not. I probably can, actually. Yeah, that's better. How are you doing?
Not bad. How about yourself?
Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear.
Well, that's good. I was having a little trouble getting through to you, but me and Dave and I worked it out here.
Yeah. Well, Dave said his system was doing a little bit of an update and so forth, and mine had a little bit of a glitch as well. There was a lady called Bernadette trying to contact me, but we couldn't hear her on Wednesday, and we can't hear her tonight. So, unfortunately, Bernadette, I think the problem might be your end. But Ron, what do you want to say?
Well, I was 44 years ago.
Yeah.
I was actually in a body cast. I had hip surgery.
Right.
And a friend of mine called me on the phone and told me that Elvis had passed away. I was not aware of it at the time. And she called me and told me that he passed away. I actually dropped the phone on the floor.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. You were obviously shocked by the news, as everybody else was.
Yeah, I was 13 at the time, and I had been a Elvis fan, since I was 8, and it was shocking news.
Yeah, you were a very similar age to me because I was 15. Actually, I'll share my story now if you like, because a lot of people have said, let's hear how you found out. This was before I moved to Ireland. I didn't move to Ireland until 1996. So, and I'm originally from England. So I was in the UK, and there used to be a program on ITV. The channel was ITV or ITN, called News at 10, and it was between 10 and 10:30. The program was, and just before they signed off, I think it was Reginald Bosanquet or somebody like that. He was the newsreader. Said, we're having a report coming in that Elvis Presley has died in Memphis. And then he looked over at somebody and said, no, he isn't dead, but he's having trouble breathing. And with that, they signed off. And of course, it wasn't like it is now, rolling 24-hour news and, internet and all this and all that. And it wasn't until I couldn't believe what I'd heard. Is he dead? Is he alive? What's happening? And I was trying to find out for most of the night. And then it was confirmed a few hours later. So I found out in the early hours of the 17th of August.
Wow.
And I was
I would have turned 14 in November, so I was just short of my 14th birthday.
Yeah.
When it happened.
Yeah.
And like I say, I was actually laid up in a body cast. I was in a body cast.
Wow.
Basically from my armpits down to my feet. And my friend rang me and told me that he had passed away.
Yeah.
And I literally dropped the phone on the floor.
Well, you can imagine what I was going through when I couldn't find out whether he was alive or dead or what was happening, why they'd announced he was dead, then he was having trouble breathing and all this and all that. As I say, it was really a few hours before it was confirmed. I think it might have been Radio Luxembourg or something like that I heard it from. But an awful time.
Well, it was funny. Some of the strange reactions you would get back then when it first occurred. Because my mother actually called on the phone to a local disc jockey.
Yeah.
To have him play some Elvis music over the air. And he basically said, "What's the big deal?" And it's like, how can you say, "What's the big deal"? You're talking about the greatest name in music.
That's right. Yeah. People just didn't understand. Yeah. People just didn't understand. Ron, if you had a chance to speak with Elvis, what would you have said or asked him?
I really, we had talked about this a few weeks ago. I'm heavily into music as Elvis was. And I would have to talk to him about music and some of his influences and, and I know he had a big church background. And he introduced me to so much music by different artists. By songs he recorded and people he was influenced by. I'm so heavy into music that I actually wanted to get into the business. And because of Elvis Presley, I was introduced to so many different people and so many different genres of music. I wish, I would like to say to him is thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
I know.
you for what he did. And thank you for introducing me to the people you introduced me to. And just thank you for being the human being that you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you question any of his choices, his career choices?
I guess if I had to question anything, it would be his ability to stand up for himself.
Yeah.
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 Because I think the Colonel, my way of looking at it is the Colonel was kind of self-serving, and I wish Elvis would have been able to stand up for himself more both in his career and in his life choices,
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. That's great, Ron. Always nice to speak with you. And I hope you can call in again next time we have another topic.
I absolutely will do that.
Thanks,
and
Ron.
If I could say hello to Elvis Lass, I got introduced to her channel through your channel.
Yeah.
And she's got a great channel as well.
Yes, Michelle Elvis Lass. That's right. I'm sure everybody now watching me has checked out her channel by now. But if you haven't, please check out Elvis Lass's channel.
Well, I hope everybody has a great day and pay tribute to Elvis in whatever way you choose.
Yeah.
And thank you, Steve, for taking my call. As always.
It's a pleasure, Ron. It really is a pleasure. And don't forget, listen out later on for the winner of Elvis Fan of the Year.
I sure will.
Okay, all the best.
All the best to you, my friend.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's a real cool guy, Ron. Very, very cool guy. Nice to hear from him. Okay. Not sure if Bernadette is still listening, but if she is, I can't hear you, unfortunately. Okay. So there you go. We'll give it one more time. Hi, Bernadette. No. Okay. Great. Right. I'm going to do. I'm going to do the poll. All right. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of that because I think I can probably. Unfortunately, I thought I could. Yeah, I can. There you go. That's that done. Yeah, I'm going to do. I'm going to do the poll. I asked you. I kind of got it down to 4. I shortlisted it to 4, and then I gave you another one saying none of the above. Leave choice in comments. And let me tell you that the people that couldn't pick between Jailhouse Rock, King Creole, Follow That Dream, and Change of Habit, a lot of people said Charo and The Trouble with Girls. And as I said, it was extremely close between first and second. So fourth, and this surprised me because his hair was so unique in this one. Follow That Dream was only 10% of the votes. Then King Creole, which was 19%. And then we have Change of Habit, 32%. Now, I thought Change of Habit would have been way, way out in front of the other 4. And the winner is Jailhouse Rock with 33%. So that was people's favorite hairstyle of the movies, Jailhouse Rock. What do you think of that? If there's anybody else would like to call in and tell me what they would like to, what they would like to say to Elvis. There's one here, and I'll see if I can get him on the line because he tried to call me, and his name is Woody.
No.
Is that Woody?
Yeah, this is Bo. Is this Steve?
Yeah. Steve from Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. I saw I had a missed call from you, so I thought I'd give you a buzz, see what you wanted to say.
Yeah, I just want to. I'm here at the vigil, and I live here in Memphis now, so I'll give y'all a little update, And
yeah. So what's going on? What's going on in Memphis? If we didn't know. Unfortunately, I think that the call dropped, or Woody had to go. Maybe he's in line to. Let's see if we can get him back on the line. Oh, that's a shame because that actually sounded quite interesting, actually. So let's have a look. I'll see if I can get somebody else on the phone that I missed. See if I can. Yeah. Okay. So we've done the poll. What else can we do? I'll tell you what we can do. We can also do this day in Elvis history. Now, August the 15th, stroke 16th, wasn't thankfully all doom and gloom. Through his life, there were happier times before August the 16th, and I also have pictures to show you and so forth. So let's start. Sunday, August the 15th, 1955. Elvis attended a meeting in Memphis with the Colonel, Bob Neal, and Vernon, at which a new contract was signed that named the Colonel as a special advisor. Hi, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel?
Hi, Steve.
Well, hello.
I can't hear you, mate.
Well, hello, Sarah. Okay, right. We will press on. Elvis attended a meeting in Memphis with the Colonel, Bob Neal, and Vernon. Hi, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel? Okay. Tell you what we'll do. We will just knock the calls on the head for a second. While I do this day in Elvis history. In fact, what I can do, pretty sure what I can do, is I can just hit that for a second. So I can do this day in history. Bob Neal, Vernon, at which a new contract was signed that named the Colonel as special advisor with control of virtually every aspect of the operation. So there you go. That was this day in 1955. 1957, Elvis asked Steve Scholes to hire Millie Kirkham for his next session. So, Elvis actually specifically asked for Millie to be on his session from 1957 onwards. 1958, the funeral of Elvis's beloved mother, Gladys, was held at Graceland. And I think it's self-explanatory by showing this picture just exactly what effect this had, obviously, on Elvis and Vernon. You can just see the look in their eyes. They're just completely and utterly lost. I can't really say any more about it than that. That was on this day in 1958. 1959, Paramount Studios announces that Elvis's first post-army movie will be G.I. Blues. I'm sure Elvis, he just spent 2 years in the army in uniform, and then the first thing that he had to do when he got out was dress in uniform again. So, yeah, we can feel for Elvis on doing that. But then again, that was his job, I suppose. Here we go. In 1960, principal photography began at the movie ranch in Thousand Oaks, California for Flaming Star. 1961, location filming in Florida for Follow That Dream ended. 1965, Paradise Hawaiian Style. Now, this is a good day, actually. Elvis, Vernon, and the Colonel visited the USS Arizona War Memorial. And I've got a few pictures here. There's Elvis and his father. And then we have, actually, Elvis' father and Colonel Parker again. And finally, we have him at the entrance to the memorial. And I think that might be Colonel Parker in the background. I'm not too sure. That was on this day in 1965. 1969, he was in Vegas. During the engagement in Vegas, by the way, Elvis entertained friends and others in his suite after the late show. He sung with the Imperials as often as he could, and with friends like Tom Jones. 1970, this today was filmed for MGM. That's the way it is. 1971, Elvis's Summer Festival at the International Hotel, a month-long engagement. And today, actually, the shows were shortened due to Elvis's illness, which he complained about the night before. I think he had a heavy cold or flu or something like that. So he didn't cancel, but he shortened the shows. 1972 and 1973, he was in Vegas. 1975, Elvis cancelled his lease on the Fairchild plane and bought a Jet Commander in its place at a cost of $508,000. Yeah. Later in the evening, Elvis left Memphis for Las Vegas, but the plane was forced to make an unscheduled stop in Dallas because Elvis had difficulty breathing. After resting for several hours in a motel, he continued the trip. So that wasn't a very good day for Elvis. August the 15th, 1975. 1976, he was at home in Memphis, relaxing between tours. 1977, August the 15th, 1977, Elvis was planning to leave to begin a tour which would start in Portland, Maine on August 17th. He woke at about 4 p.m. He watched television until 10:30 p.m. Then he left his dentist's appointment. Then he left for a dentist appointment with Lisa Marie, Ginger, and Charlie Hodge. He returned to Graceland shortly after midnight, August the 16th. I'm going to go straight into pick of the week, and it's two pictures actually. And I'd like to think that this sort of sums it all up in Elvis's life. So you've got that one. Of course, Gladys had died sort of 1958 one day ago, August the 14th, this being August the 15th. And then really just sort of another pick of the week is this one, where it all began. Who could have thought when they were having that photograph taken, just where their lives would go? I'm sure they just thought their lives would play out as just everybody else did in Tupelo. And you can see 2.5-year-old Elvis there, Vernon, Gladys. Times were hard, but who could have believed that that little boy in the middle would grow up to be one of the most famous people in the world, and still remembered as strongly as the day he died 44 years later. So I'll just go back to my other picture of the week. We always say that probably Elvis was never ever the same again after Gladys left. And then that one there, which I think epitomizes the whole journey that Elvis had through those 42 years. Yeah, so let me see what I can do here, because we have to get Dave up and running. And I'll tell you the reason why we have to get Dave up and running is because I need to speak to Dave about the Fan of the Year. He is going to announce the Fan of the Year, the winner. So anytime you're ready, Dave, I am ready for you. Let's see what else we got. How different would his life had been had his mama lived longer? Yeah, that's a question we always wonder. Yeah, there was only 2 days. Was it 19 years and 2 days between Gladys dying and Elvis dying? 19 years and 2 days, I think that's right. No, Elvis wasn't the same after his mother died, that's for sure. Anytime you're ready, Dave, you can ring me. We have a winner to announce, and we have a runner-up. And the names were picked out of a hat yesterday, and then I informed Dave. Hi, Dave. Dave, please tell me you can hear me, because you have got to announce the winner and runner-up of the quiz. I might have to do it myself. Just like the new outtakes they find, I wish they could find movie outtakes. Yes, I think a lot of them were actually destroyed. Hi, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel?
Hey, Steve, it's Debbie Smith.
Hey, Debbie, how are you doing?
Deb Smith. How are you?
Not too bad. Now, did you make it to Memphis?
I did. In fact, I just got back a little while ago.
And what was going on there?
Because I got mad. Because I went to Graceland yesterday morning for the walk-up between 7 and 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying not to cry. And the guard wouldn't let me go up there because I was in a wheelchair and I was pushing myself. I didn't have nobody to push me up there. And he said it would take too long. And he wouldn't let me go.
That's very odd. That's very odd. I thought they had full wheelchair access and they could have helped you by getting somebody to push you up there, surely.
You would think, but he said that because he wouldn't let me drive my car up there, and he wouldn't let me go up there in a wheelchair. He said that it was, since I was wheeling myself, he said that it would take too long to go up that windy road. It's uphill, and he said, wheeling yourself, it would take too long, and so yeah, I couldn't go up.
And this is obviously the first time you've tried to go up, is it?
Well, I've been up before but I've been able to walk. I'm just in a wheelchair because I had a hip replacement, a knee replacement, and a broken leg all within 30 days.
Wow, that's been a rough few days for you.
So I can't put weight on my leg, so that's why I'm in a wheelchair. Yeah. Otherwise, I'd be walking up there.
Yeah, well, Graceland, Graceland need to kind of sort this out, don't they? Because, I'm sure, I'm pretty sure you're not the only person that's tried to do that in a wheelchair, so they need to get themselves sorted.
Well, if you don't think that I'm not going up calling EPE Enterprises tomorrow morning, you're crazy, because I am.
Yeah. Will you let us know how you get...
That was bullshit. I drove all the way from Virginia down there to go see that and, be part of the candlelight processional and everything, and there wasn't no use staying for it because they weren't going to let me go up.
Yeah. Well, you let us know. You let us know how you get on anyway, because I'm sure everybody here hearing this now is not very happy with EPE at the moment, or not so much EPE, but the Guard.
Right.
And actually,
well,
somebody was asking.
Guy's video from last year, you'll see that there was a guard. They for him and Trey followed the signs to where they said for them to park for the candlelight vigil, and he parked there. And this guard came over and told him he couldn't park there. And he said, "Well, ma'am, excuse me, where couldn't I park?" And she started cussing and told him she didn't give an F where he parked, but he couldn't park there.
Okay, and what somebody Okay, somebody is asking here. Actually, was there nobody else around? Were there no other fans around to push you up?
There were fans walking up and coming down, but nobody volunteered. I wasn't going to ask.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe that guy gave me that much grief.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I mean, I'm sorry you've actually, you've had to go through that. That's it's not a great thing to be able to hear, especially.
I mean, if people would have volunteered, I would have let them do it. But I mean, I'm not going to just sit there and say, "Hey, would you push me up?" I'm not going to sit there and I never have, and I'm not going to.
Yeah. Well, like I say, let us know how you get on.
Nobody volunteered. They all just went about their own business, doing their own thing. But I mean, Elvis would never put up with this.
Yeah.
He's picky about how his fans are being treated. And right now, EPE's doing the wrong thing.
Yeah. Okay, well, as I say, we would be interested.
And I can't believe that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well,
I can't believe that Priscilla and Lisa Marie letting this happen, because they know it's exactly against what his dad, and what Lisa Marie's dad, Priscilla's ex,
yes,
wanted to have happen. He was real picky. She always says he was picky about what the fans.
Yes, of course he was.
Making sure.
Yeah, I agree. As I say, well, let us know how you get on.
Even his stepbrother said they got yelled at for yelling at fans. So
yeah.
In fact, they got threatened to be fired.
Yeah. Okay, well, as I say, I'm sorry you've had to go through that, and if you can call back and let us know how you get on, because I know you said you were going to contact EPE.
Yeah, I am tomorrow when they open.
Okay.
You'd think they'd be open during Elvis week. But
yes.
They ain't open on the weekend.
Yeah.
I went to the Tiger Man Karate Dojo and Museum.
Okay.
Where they have the ambulance that Elvis was taken out of the house in. His last ride out of Graceland. Well, his second to last ride out of Graceland.
Yeah.
His last ride where he might have been alive. There's still speculation on whether he was still alive when they took him to the ambulance or if he was already dead.
And tell me this: we're asking everybody.
Conflicting stories.
We're asking everybody today what they would say to Elvis if they had chance. What would you say to Elvis if you could talk to him today?
If I talked to him today, I would just tell him that I like his music and that he's doing a great job and to keep it up, and don't worry about what the magazines say about his looks or his weight or anything. It doesn't matter. It only matters that his fans are showing up to his concerts.
Yeah.
And that's all that counts.
Yeah, I agree 100%. All right, well, thanks for calling, Deb. And as I say, let us know what happens.
All right, I will.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, Dave, if you're listening, you can try again. I was obviously on a call when you were trying to ring. We're trying to get Dave on the on the line so he can. Hi, Dave.
Dave, can you hear me? Hello.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Steve. Technical difficulty. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Yeah, I can hear you.
Good evening. Cheers to everybody.
Okay, so basically, let's give Dave. Because Dave does so much on the channel for me. He engineers and he mods and he throws questions at me, and he makes suggestions and sort of uses me as a sounding board. And Dave is a great helper.
Yeah, so we ready to announce the winner, Steve?
Yeah, of course we are. Now, Dave is going to announce the winner. He's going to announce the winner, and you can also tell us what the winner gets. And then after you've done that, you can announce the runner-up and then what you're going to give the runner-up as well. So it's over to you, Dave.
All right. Cheers, everyone. Welcome to the show. Thank you for reaching out today. It's a sad day in history, but we live on, and we celebrate Elvis and the fans. The winner of the Ultimate Fan Channel Grand Prize for the year 2021 is Roseanne Dolby.
Okay, so we'll just repeat that. Roseanne Dolby.
That is correct.
Okay, and Dave, what has Roseanne won?
She has won the grand prize of Elvis 2 CD box set, 25 commemorative edition, never been played. The B-sides.
Okay.
And CD, and I put a couple Easter eggs in there for her inside the box.
Some little surprises, huh?
Yes, sir. That is correct. You helped me pick out one, then I put another one in there.
Okay, all right. I haven't seen, I don't know whether you have as well, because I haven't actually been looking at the comments. I don't know whether Roseanne is actually watching, but I can contact Roseanne tomorrow and tell her, and then we can send those off to her post haste. Okay, so Dave, are you ready? Are you ready to tell us who the runner-up is?
Yes, sir. The runner-up for the Ultimate Fan Channel Fan of the Year. Second place goes to Ruth Daniels.
Okay, Ruth Daniels. Now, I think that Ruth is based in Memphis.
That is correct. She's doing Elvis Week. I don't think she's in the chat.
No, but again, I have contact details for Ruth, so I will let her know. So just to recap, we have the winner of the Elvis Fan of the Year is Roseanne Dolby, and the runner-up is Ruth Daniels.
That is correct.
Dave, thanks very much for all your help that you give me on the channel every Wednesday and Sunday. It really is most appreciated.
And like you always mention, even before and after, it's all about the fans, Steve.
Yeah, it is. It's all done for...
It truly is.
Well, it's done for the fans, and it's done for Elvis.
Yes.
Okay, buddy?
Who would... Okay, thank you very much, and cheers to Steve. God bless him.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later, Dave.
Thank you, buddy.
Bye, bye. So there you have it. There you have it. Roseanne Dolby and Ruth Daniels. Yeah, I jotted down Ruth Daniels. So if anybody else would like to give me a ring on the free messenger, or if they want to ring on the 001-901-7299109, they can do that as well. We're asking people to ring in and give us their memories of August 16th, 1977. We're also asking them if they could sit down and talk to Elvis. What would they say? What would they ask him? And so forth. We had a very sad phone call from Debbie Smith there a few minutes ago, just saying that she had difficulty getting up to the meditation garden because she was in a wheelchair. And I've asked her to let us know how that pans out. Obviously, I wasn't there. I can't speak for Debbie. I can't speak for EPE because I don't know all the details. I wasn't there, obviously. But it didn't sound too good, I must admit. Whether there was some sort of misunderstanding, I don't know. Song of the week. We normally do a song of the week on a Wednesday and a Sunday. I have done a song of the week, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. What I'm going to do is about 5 minutes after this live stream, I am going to put a link in the description box which appears below videos and live streams. And if you click on the link, it will take you to the song of the week. Now, the song of the week, I think, is very, very, very appropriate for tomorrow, August the 16th. So again, you can let me know By the way, just after this live stream, if anybody's watching this on playback or catch up or repeat or anything like that, you can also leave comments below about what we've discussed tonight, the song of the week, and so forth. Where is Arkansas Dave? He's in Arkansas, as far as I know, Deb. Elvis would be livid. Yeah. Verone Entertainment, great channel and great content. Thank you very much. Thank you. The Memphis number is, Bo, 001. You probably don't need that. 901-7299-109. It's at the top of the screen, actually. Yeah, it did actually sound like Dave was in his bathroom, actually. It was very echoey, wasn't it? Yeah, and David is saying, well done, girls. Yes, congratulations to our winners. Hi, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel?
Yes, hello. My name's Kathy. How are you?
Hello, Kathy, and it's a pleasure to speak to you.
And you. I'm fairly new here. I'm a bit, I normally sound a bit more cheerful, but it's an upsetting day.
Yes. I can gather from that accent. Are you in Australia?
I'm from very close. I'm from New Zealand.
Ah, right. So you are very, very far away from me. What time is it in New Zealand at the moment?
Well, you started at 6 a.m., I think, in my time. So
wow.
I didn't even sleep.
Now that's dedication, isn't it, everybody? Somebody somebody getting up at 6 a.m. to listen to me.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
No, actually, to be really honest, it's just the Elvis thing. I didn't sleep at all.
Yeah.
Silly, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I know. People don't watch for me. They watch for Elvis. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard day, but
yes,
I'm meeting some fellow Elvis friends later on, and we're going to talk Elvis, eat Elvis type food.
Yeah. Okay.
Play music.
That sounds great. And did you hear what I was saying at the start of the show? If you could sit down and talk to Elvis one-on-one, what would you say? What would you ask?
Oh, I think I'd be an absolute wreck, Steve. I'd just be. He'd have to do the talking. I'd just be oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I've been a fan since I was a very little girl. So because of my mother, that's all the records we had were Elvis records, and I guess I was saying before, I was thinking I'll perhaps try another angle of saying that I'm from the future, because he sort of would believe in that sort of fandangled stuff, I think.
Yeah, he would have, yeah.
And tell him what harm he's actually doing to himself, and give him warnings, tell him that the Colonel's not always going to be the right person.
Yeah.
Stop the movies perhaps by about 64.
Yeah. That's a really good idea. Yeah. So you would have actually travelled back in time and spoken to him probably before 1960.
Yeah. Well, what I mean is, I'd probably, if I got to talk to him, I'd tell him that I am a person coming back from the future. Like the movie.
Yeah. Oh yes.
And tell him that I've seen what happened.
Yeah.
And that way he may believe that and not get angry, because I hate him to get angry, I think.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, that's a really, really funky idea, isn't it? Traveling back to about 1955 or something like that, just as he's starting to take off, and tell him, he is going to be monumentally successful. However, and you could highlight some of the things where he sort of. The pitfalls that he found himself in. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could say the army. You're going to be drafted into the army. You're going to meet your future wife. However, unfortunately, when you come out of the army, your manager is going to sort of take the now money and sign you to 6 or 7 years of movies.
And not only that, but your manager's going to work you so hard that you're going to be needing to take prescribed medication to actually be able to withstand that. I don't think any human being could really do a matinee and an evening and, a midnight show. I mean, no one can do that.
Yeah.
It's sad. Makes you sad.
I shall be thinking about this now all night, actually. I'll be thinking, I wish I could do a Michael J. Fox and go back to 1955 and warn him about some of the things that he needs to avoid. But then again, like you say, would he have believed you? It's hard to know whether he would have believed you or not. Although, Elvis did sort of, he had a very open mind, Elvis did. He didn't close things off.
That's what I mean. I think he would. I think he would, because he was really into so many different things like that, wasn't he? Different beliefs, and he'd go out there and put his hands up until it stopped raining. Stop raining.
That's right. Yeah, and he saw Stalin in the clouds as well and things like that. So yeah, he did have an open mind. Yeah, right. Well, thanks for the call.
Larry Geller told that, because Larry Geller believed him too.
That's right. Well, thanks very much for the call. And are you going to go back to bed now, or are you up for good now?
No, I'm far too awake. I've had many coffee. I'll make up for it.
Okay.
Another 12 hours, I can go to bed.
It's lovely to speak to you, Kathy. Thanks very much for calling in.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
All the best. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.
I love your channel.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So that was Kathy from New Zealand. Yeah, hard to believe. It really is. Anybody else would like to ring in before I go? As I say, don't forget, stick with me, because I am actually going to close the show a little bit different tonight. I have a little something I've jotted down about my feelings today. So if anybody would like to ring in before we head into that, I think I've done everything. Don't forget, you can find me on Twitter at SteveFrancis5, Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel on Facebook. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell and click all. Don't click personalized, but click all. You can, every Wednesday and Sunday, you can ring me free on Facebook Messenger. The profile is Steve Francis, and it's the little 2-year-old Elvis you'll need to be looking for. Send me a thumbs up. I send you a thumbs up or a hi back, and then we can call each other free. And you can also ring us on the Memphis number if you wish. Dave is standing by every Wednesday and Sunday. Any cold shower photos? No, not today, Maxine, no. But I think you saw these, which I picked. That one there. It kind of goes without saying, that one, doesn't it? 1958. And also that one there, which epitomizes just how his life... who could have thought when that picture was taken? I'm sure Gladys didn't, or Vernon, just the meteoric rise... and one of the most famous men in the world. That little boy would turn out to be one of the most famous men in the world. So those are my photos of the week. And then, of course, in 1958, Gladys passed away at the age of 46. And as I highlighted there, we can just see they're just completely and utterly stunned. Vernon and Elvis were just completely and utterly stunned on this day in 1958. So those are quite sad. I'm reading, let's see now. Thanks to Wednesday. Take care, bye. Okay, Edward, you're actually going to miss my my outgoing speech. If nobody else wants to ring in, I can actually close the phone lines now. I will leave the phone lines open for just another minute or two in case somebody does want to ring. And then I will... don't forget, if you do want to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee using the link below. Or you can also use the link at the top, excuse me, at the top of the live chat banner. It says, please... I don't know what it says. I can't remember. I can't even remember now what I said. Please support the channel here, and then you click on the link. So if you want to do that, you can do that. So I hope I can get through this closing speech, as it were. I'm going to close the phone lines if that's okay with everybody. And see if I can get through it. So here we are. Another year has flown by, and it's now 44 years since the world lost Elvis, 2 years longer than his time on Earth. His records still sell in huge amounts, and he is the biggest selling recording artist ever, despite what the media and mean-spirited people try to tell you. If they bothered to look at the actual facts and recorded statistics, they would see that it's not Garth Brooks or Michael Jackson or anyone else for that matter. It's Elvis. I'm not here to justify why Elvis is the best there is, I'm not here to justify why Elvis is the best there ever was or ever will be. We already know that. To this day, as I've already said, his records continue to sell, his movies are being watched, concerts with him on a gigantic screen get standing ovations. The 1968 TV special, And That's the Way It Is, played in movie theatres a few years ago. His image and voice is everywhere and is being used worldwide by advertisers. A brand new biopic is in production, as we know, which has generated great interest. I could mention countless other things. Elvis is with us every day. Over 600,000 people visit Elvis's former home, Graceland. Not all of those visitors call themselves fans. Some of them are not born until after his death. They just want to visit the home of Elvis Presley, the Elvis Presley. Such is the impact he has on everyone. Will the artists of today have such an effect on the world 44 years later after their deaths? I doubt it. That's my opinion. So say the name Elvis and everyone knows who you are talking about. There's only one Elvis. You've probably heard me say this many times. Someone like Elvis Presley doesn't come along once in a lifetime. He comes along once. I count myself lucky I lived at the same time as him. We fans agree that we aren't just like any other fan base. It's more like a family, an Elvis family. On meeting someone new and finding out they are an Elvis fan, there is an immediate connection, an understanding between us. There is a realization that the person you have just met is special because they are a fan too. His fans meant everything to him. Elvis knew without us he would have remained a truck driver or an electrician. Elvis's success isn't down to RCA, Tom Parker, EPE, or anyone else for that matter. It never was and never will be. It's due to his unique, outstanding talent and the fans that love him. Fans just like you watching this channel now and who continue to listen to his music, watch his movies and TV specials and visit Memphis. But we are more than just fans. We love the man. I know Elvis's memory is safe in the hands of the younger fans long after I've shuffled off this mortal coil. After I've met up with all my loved ones that have gone before me, he will be the first one I seek out. I hope I'll get the chance to thank him and tell him how much he is still loved here on earth. Elvis, you thought no one would remember you a few years after your death. How wrong you were. This world is a much better place for having had Elvis Presley in it. It's also a little darker now he's gone. But of course, he still is here in all our hearts. No one dies as long as they are loved in someone's heart. Thanks, Elvis. Thanks for coming along and touching our lives forever.